What is going on, everybody? It's Bulls Nation Station back at it again with another one. Hope you guys are feeling very well today, as I'm feeling pretty good myself. I just wanted to talk to you guys about a few things going on in the Bulls community. But before I do, I want you guys to subscribe to my page if you're a true Bulls fan and Bulls things throughout the summer. Definitely like this video, as it helps with the algorithm and you'll be able to see more videos that's coming out. But yeah, I'm going to talk about a few things. And so the first thing I want to talk about is the Bulls reportedly saying they want to keep DeMar DeRozan for the long term. Yeah, they interviewed GM Marc Eversley, and he's been talking about, the idea of DeMar DeRozan. And the quote that he said is that DeMar's been great. He said he's been terrific for this group, not only on the court but off the court. He's been a leader, and I would love for DeMar to be a part of this program long term. And so, that sparked a debate of conversation just by those comments that he said, because DeMar DeRozan is 34 years old. And yes, DeMar DeRozan has been excellent for our team, for our community, for our group. He's done so much, not only for the team on the court, as he's won so many close games for us, and he's also guided and leaded the young guys at a time where they needed guidance. And I feel like he installed a good work ethic for the likes of Patrick Williams, Kobe White, Dalen Terry coming up. And a lot of people don't understand is that Kobe White, all the improvement he showed last season, a lot of it is based off a trainer that DeMar DeRozan introduced to Kobe White. And so DeMar DeRozan has done a lot of things that goes unnoticed in the community, but also he's 34 years old. And so signing DeMar DeRozan to a long-term contract, what would that look like, till he's 40? And it's tough because, it comes a point, no matter how good of a player you are, you begin to decline with age. And yes, I still feel like, at the age of 34, you still got a couple more good years left in you, but you're not going to be at your peak as you once was. I feel like DeMar DeRozan's peak was the first season he came with the Bulls. But even then, people were saying he's going to decline. He's not going to be a good fit. He's not going to do this and that. So I would never count DeMar DeRozan out. The pros of DeMar DeRozan signing a long-term contract is that he gets to work with the young guys and, continue to develop them. Maybe Patrick Williams can one day develop that killer instinct that DeMar had, that Kobe had before him. Maybe with more time, that's what Patrick Williams can do. But it's just a lot of, good things that can come out of DeMar DeRozan staying with the team. But you also got to think about the on-court play. You got to think about how the team fits around that time. We're trying to update our offense to being more three-point shot heavy. So it's a lot of different factors that go into it. You got to think about how he's playing and what type of role would DeMar DeRozan want. Say his game is falling off, would he be willing to take a backdoor role? Will he be willing to come off the bench if he gets to that point? It's a lot of things that go into that, but it's really about the betterment of the team. He's a great off the court guy. He's a great on the court guy right now, but you got to think about just how the nature and the state of the team is, and I guess we'll figure that out when we get to that point. Next thing I want to talk about is this in-season tournament and what does it mean for the Bulls. Marc Eversley, he also was talking about that too, and he says the important thing about the in-season tournament is that it develops winning habits. They feel like the play-in last season was really good for the Bulls. It put them in a do-or-die situation, playing with a lot of intensity, a lot of pressure. And I feel like even though we didn't get past the Heat, we almost beat them, but we played well in those pressure situations. And I feel like the in-season tournament will better them and prepare them early on in the season to compete in those type of matches, and so it can prepare them for when they get to the playoffs, just being in those type of situations. Winning the in-season play-in tournament, it could do a lot for your confidence as a team. It could spark you to go on runs. It can help you with your record. And so I feel like, even though the prize might not be as much to the players that are rich, it's going to help the players that's towards the back of the bench, but it does a lot just for the morale, the mindset of the team. And it's always interesting to see a team play under conditions and things like that. So I feel like the play-in tournament will be good. It's just up to the players to understand the importance of the play-in tournament, and the GM said they're going to make sure they understand, and it's going to be entertaining basketball to watch. I honestly feel like the Bulls have a good chance because the top team in the Bulls department is the Celtics, and the Bulls always play the Celtics really well. Of course, they got the Magics, the Pacers, things like that. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that, and it's going to be interesting to see. And so the last thing I want to talk about is Torrey Craig. A lot of talk has been about Javon Carter, but it hasn't been as much talk about Torrey Craig. So the past few off seasons since AK and Marc Eversley has been here, AK has been trying to get this guy by the name of Torrey Craig. He's been trying to, they've had talks, he said, but things just didn't work out the way they needed to work out. But they finally got Torrey Craig to this team. And one thing I can say about Torrey Craig is that he is tough. He is a tough defender, a tough player, and he doesn't back down. You see the way he used to guard DeMar DeRozan, he always left an impression. To me, he was one of the guys that guarded him the toughest, and DeMar DeRozan admitted that. He says, yeah, he guards me as well as anybody in this league, and that's because Torrey Craig is a tough guy. He's not afraid of anybody. He would guard each player with the same amount of toughness, and that's kind of like what the Bulls need. The Bulls have a lot of finesse on the team. They have a lot of talent, shooting, and we have good defense, but we need some of that edge, that playoff toughness to go, and help the Bulls. And I feel like Torrey Craig is that guy. He is the perfect guy for when you need a person to just help you in them trenches, when you need a guy to help you in those tough playoff battles, those tough game situations. Torrey Craig has been through the ringer. He had some of his best playoff games in the playoffs against the Clippers, and he guarded Kawhi tough. He guarded a lot of those players, and that's just awesome to see. It's awesome to see one of those kind of old school tough players come to the Bulls, because we've been missing that for a long time, since the Tibbs Bulls days, to be honest. And so to have a role player be able to do that, to go along with your star players, that's going to do a lot, man. That's going to help out, and that's awesome to see. So I'm happy to see Torrey Craig on the Bulls. He's 32 years old. He's still young enough to be in his prime, and he's been shooting the ball a lot better. So when you combine tough defense with good three-point shooting, and he's also a good rebounder, then that's awesome, man. I'm excited to see that. But comment down below, how do you guys feel about Torrey Craig joining our team? Are you excited? Do you guys feel like he's going to have a huge role? Do you feel like DeMar DeRozan should stay long-term for the Bulls? Comment down below, and I'm going to holler at you guys later. I'm out.